Millions of people have read Atomic Habits and the Power of Habit, hoping to finally become disciplined, hoping to become productive, hoping to fix the version of themselves they secretly feel disappointed by. But here's the strange part. These two books completely disagree on what actually controls your behavior. Atomic Habits says your identity shapes your actions. The Power of Habit says your actions shape you before you're even aware of them. And that tiny difference changes everything. Because one book teaches you how to build better systems. The other explains why you keep destroying them. Wait. Think about that. If you've ever started a routine, felt motivated for a few days, and then somehow ended up back in the exact same cycle, this video may explain why. But to understand which book actually creates lasting change, we first need to understand why most people fail in the first place. Most people don't lack information. They lack behavioral control. You already know you should wake up earlier, exercise more, read more, focus more, scroll less. But knowledge rarely becomes action, and modern life makes this even worse. Every app is fighting for your attention. Every platform is engineered to become a habit. Your brain is constantly being trained, whether you realize it or not. That's why people consume endless self-improvement content without actually improving, because inspiration feels productive. But behavior is something else entirely. And this is where these two books become the mirror. Not because they're wrong, but because they reveal something uncomfortable. You are not fully in control of your daily actions. Some part of your life is already automated. Question is, what's controlling the automation? And surprisingly, Atomic Habits and the Power of Habit give very different answers. Atomic Habits by James Clear became one of the biggest self-improvement books in the world for some reason. It makes change feel achievable. Its core philosophy is simple. Tiny improvements, repeated consistently, create massive transformation over time. But the real power of Atomic Habits isn't productivity. It's identity. James Clear argues that lasting habits are not built through goals. They're built through self-image. In other words, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That line alone changed how millions of people think. Because goals are temporary, systems are lifestyle architecture. Atomic Habits teaches environment design, friction reduction, habit stacking, identity reinforcement, and behavioral consistency. Strategically, this works extremely well in modern distracted life. Because motivation is unreliable, systems are not. But here's where things become interesting. While James Clear focuses heavily on optimization, the Power of Habit focuses on awareness. And that difference changes how each book approaches human behavior itself. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg approaches habits from a completely different angle. Less self-improvement, more behavioral psychology. The book's central idea is the habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. A trigger creates a behavior. The behavior creates a reward. And eventually, your brain automates the entire process. That's why you unlock your phone without thinking. Why stress creates cravings. Why boredom creates scrolling. Why certain emotions instantly trigger routines. Most of your behavior is unconscious repetition. And honestly, this is where the power of habit becomes psychologically deeper than Atomic Habits. But there's also a limitation. The Power of Habit gives awareness. Atomic Habits gives implementation. And in real life, awareness alone rarely changes behavior. Knowing your bad habits is not the same as escaping them. Think about that. This is exactly where the battle between these books becomes fascinating. So far, we've looked at what makes each book powerful on its own. Both books promise the same thing: better habits and a better life. but they approach the problem from completely different angles. One focuses on understanding the hidden forces controlling your behavior. The other focuses on building systems that make success almost automatic. So let's put them head to head and find out which book truly delivers. Before you can change a habit, you need to understand it. And this is where the power of habit comes out swinging. Charles Duhigg dives deep into what he calls the habit loop, the invisible cycle of cue, routine, and reward that silently drives much of your daily behavior. Suddenly, those bad habits that felt random start making sense. You realize you're not lacking willpower. You're responding to triggers you've never noticed before. Atomic Habits explains behavior too, but its focus is different. James Clear is less interested in why habits exist and more interested in what you should do next. His approach is practical, actionable, and system-focused. But when it comes to pure psychological understanding, the power of habit goes deeper. The winner here is the power of habit, because understanding the machine is the first step to controlling it. Now comes the question that frustrates almost everyone. Why is it so hard to stay consistent? The power of habit helps you understand the emotional reasons behind failure. But understanding isn't always enough. Atomic Habits takes a different route. Instead of asking, "What goal do you want to achieve?" it asks a far more powerful question. Who do you want to become? That shift changes everything. Because when you stop trying to run and start becoming a runner, when you stop trying to write and start becoming a writer, consistency becomes part of your identity, and people naturally protect their identity. This is one of the most powerful ideas in modern self-improvement. And here the winner is Atomic Habits, because identity is often stronger than motivation. Now let's talk about the battlefield most people are fighting on today. Your phone, social media, infinite scrolling, constant distractions. The power of habit does an incredible job explaining why these systems are so addictive. You begin to see how companies use cues, rewards, and dopamine loops to capture attention. It's eye-opening. But Atomic Habits doesn't stop at awareness. It gives you an escape plan. Remove the cue. Increase friction. Redesign your environment. Make bad habits difficult and good habits easy. One book helps you understand the trap. The other helps you escape it. And honestly, you need both. This round ends in a tie. Because awareness without action changes nothing. And action without awareness rarely lasts. Now let's talk about transformation. This round is surprisingly powerful. Most people think changing habits is about changing actions. But what if the real change happens much deeper? The power of habit teaches something incredibly liberating. Your bad habits aren't proof that you're lazy, weak, or broken. They're patterns, programs, systems that were learned and can be unlearned. That realization can completely change how you view failure. Instead of blaming yourself, you start analyzing the process. Atomic Habits is excellent at accelerating behavior change. It helps you move faster. But the power of habit often changes the way you think about yourself. So here the winner is the power of habit. Because sometimes that deeper realization creates more lasting transformation than any productivity system. Now for the final verdict. Which one you should read first? And honestly, there isn't a universal winner. If you're constantly repeating bad habits and can't understand why you keep doing the same things over and over again, start with the power of habit. It will give you awareness. But if you already know what you should be doing and your biggest struggle is procrastination, execution, or discipline, start with Atomic Habits. It will give you action. Think of it this way. The power of habit answers the question, why am I stuck? Atomic Habits answers the question, how do I move forward? One gives you the map. The other teaches you how to walk. And when you combine both, that's where real behavior change begins. So the real winner isn't a book. It's understanding when to use awareness, and when to take action. But after comparing both books, the real lesson is something deeper. Most people think changing their life requires massive action. Doesn't. It requires behavioral awareness and environmental design. That's it. Your future is hidden inside actions. The things you do automatically eventually become your identity, and the dangerous part is you're building habits even when you're not trying to. Every scroll, every delay, every excuse, every repetition, your brain is always learning. The question is, what is it learning from you? Atomic Habits teaches you how to build better systems. The power of habit teaches you why systems control your life in the first place. One gives structure, the other gives awareness, and together, they explain why lasting transformation is never about motivation. It's about repeated behavior. So now I'm curious, which philosophy describes your life more right now? Do you struggle more with awareness or consistency? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep breakdowns like this, subscribe. A great book gives you answers. The right book gives you results. That's why this series compares the world's best books head to head, so you know exactly what's worth your time. Click the playlist on your screen and watch the complete book comparison series.